Hi, this is Dr. Lennon, and we're going to look at a problem similar to the decision tree problem. This problem number 3 on the final exam, where we have to construct a decision tree and then talk about the recommended approach based on the optimistic, conservative, and Minimax Regret approaches to the model. So basically, the one I'm going to do for you is very similar, just slightly different numbers. So we have our 2 possible decisions and then the 3 possible states of the outcome based upon our decision, which we can't know, but possibly we can project and plan for. So this is our situation. So it says Southland Corporation's decision to produce a new line of recreational projects resulted in the need to construct either a small or large plant. And the best selection of the plant size depends on the marketplace reaction to the product line. So management basically decided to view the possible long-run demand as either low, medium, or high with the following numbers, where the profit is projected in millions of dollars. So low would be $150 million for the small plant and $50 million for the large plant. Again, that's based on however management has projected their costs based on, equipment, rent, power, stuff like that. So the first thing to do is to take this information and construct a decision tree. So the decision tree is pretty straightforward. Yeah, you can do this on Excel, but for the small ones, usually it's easier just to do it by hand. So we have our decision, and then there's 2 possible ways we can go. We either choose the small plant, or we choose the large plant, and based on each one of those approaches, we have 3 more approaches that yield 3 different numbers. So maybe I should have made this one a little bit farther down, but that's okay. And we call them low, medium, and high. So low, medium, high, low, medium, high, and then we can put our numbers at the end. So for small, low is 150, medium is 200, and the high end is 200 as well. And for the large, we have 50, 200, and 500 million. So that's our decision tree. It's pretty basic. It's just organizing the information into the 2 possible cases and putting the number based on that. You can see these things can get larger based on kind of your decisions falling over here, however many those are, and however many branches, however many states of nature you have based on that given decision. They won't all be this simple. Sometimes you'll have more states based on each specific decision. But now we want to recommend a decision based upon the optimistic, conservative, and the Minimax Regret approaches. So for the optimistic approach, what we're going to do is we're just going to look at the maximum profit. So we kind of have our decision right here for small and large. And the optimistic approach is basically just you're going to try and make the most money you can and take whatever chances you will to make that much money. So basically the optimistic, we're just looking for the maximum profit, and that's going to fuel our decision. So the maximum profit for small is 200. That's the biggest number we see based on whatever the state of the nature of the marketplace is following it. And for large, 500 is the most. So we have 200 here and 500 here. So this basically tells us for the optimistic approach, we choose to build a large plant because there is a possibility for a much larger maximum profit. Okay, for the conservative approach, what we're going to look at is we're going to look at the minimum profit. What's the worst case scenario based on whatever the marketplace is looking like. So we're going to look at the smallest possible profit for each state. Here, 150 is the smallest we see based on the small plant decision, and for large, 50 is the smallest. So 150 for small, 50 for large. So for the conservative approach, we choose to build a small plant because the min profit is much larger. And now we have to look at the last approach, the Minimax Regret approach. So let's kind of organize this based on a table. So we're going to kind of take part one and do some scratch work over here. And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of do two tables. We're going to have the small table, and we're going to have the large table. And what we're going to do is we're going to have the state and the regret. And then same thing over here, the state and the regret. And what the regret is going to basically take what your value in the given state is, and you're going to subtract so this one's high. So again, low, medium, and high. And for the regret, what we're going to look at is we're going to look at the best possible scenario given the low marketplace state. So for instance, if we look at the low state, small has 150 in the low state and large has 50 in the low state. So what is the regret of small? Well, small has the better value. So the regret in low is 0 because it's going to be 150 minus 150. They have the best possible case, so they have absolutely no regret in that state. However, large has a regret of $100 million because they wish they would have $150 million in that state. The best possible scenario. So their regret would be 150 minus 50. So they have $100 million of regret there. In the medium state, we see 200 is the same in both cases. So regardless of whether you've chosen to build a small or large plant, you have 0 regret. 200 minus 200 is 0. And let's look at the final position, high. Well, small would have 500 minus 200, $300 million of regret, whereas high would have $0 million of regret because they have the best possible scenario. So the max regret so there's 3 possible regrets for each one. 0, 0, 300, 0, 0, 100. So for small, they have a maximum regret of 300, and for large, they have a maximum regret of 100. So we actually want the one with the smaller regret. So for the Minimax Regret approach, we again choose to build the large because there is a smaller maximum regret, which is what you want. Regret is a bad thing. You're always trying to squeeze every dollar out of all the scenarios that you possibly can. So minimizing regret would be the most successful optimization approach based on our given decision tree. So that's how this one works. We just draw up the tree and basically consider all the scenarios in terms of max min, and then you want to construct these regret tables to be able to figure out the minimax approach based on our decision tree. So the one on the final should be pretty similar to this one. All right, good luck. Thanks.